requires that the preliminary notices be issued to impacted classified employees by March 15th, 2026. Adoption of this resolution initiates the required process and authorizes the district to work with CSE leadership to review applicable collective bargaining provisions and AB 435 requirements and to implement the required steps and timelines in the compliance with the law. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, I will start. You want to be first, Adrienne?
No question.
Okay. Martha? Rick?
Point of order.
Yes.
Well, we need to make a motion, even if we want to vote on this.
Isn't it first technical questions? Remember, first technical questions, then we have public comment, right? Yes?
I will concede.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Rick, do you have questions? Technical questions, right? That's what we're doing right now? Yes? Angelo, you seem uncertain. Is there something?
I'm certain.
Okay.
Still rusty. No, I still default back to Robert Lewis, so.
Okay. Secretary, is that what
We're on number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's correct. I'll go back.
You did it correct.
All right, thank you. Rick, do you have any technical questions or questions? Okay. Angelo, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, so now we're going to open it up for public comment. Is there any public comment? Good evening.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Sandra Ispuro. I worked for this district for 7 years. I started as a front office clerk, and now I am the librarian technician at Prindle School. I am also a parent of 2 students attending one of our schools. I am part of this community and a former student from NMCUSD schools. I'm here today because last Friday, I received an email from the HR office stating that my job might be at risk and that 1 out of the 5 librarian technicians might lose their job at the end of the school year. After reading that email, I feel worried and on edge, not knowing what will happen today, wondering who of the 5 librarians will be losing their job. When HR confirmed that the job elimination will be determined by seniority, well, that confirmed my fear. At that moment, I knew I was the one who would be losing their job. I am on that list with the less seniority. I like my job. I like what I do. I work hard. We all work hard. Librarians do more than just read to students or check in, check out books and host book fairs. And at times we support with LPAC testing too. We encourage kids to read and we make a difference. Our responsibilities are more important than what you see or you know. One of them is making sure teachers get all their curriculum and materials they need at the beginning of every school year. We work hard to get this done and make sure they have what they need. We drive back and forth to pick up curriculum from other sites to complete classes for teachers because sometimes we don't receive everything we need. Librarians are not the ones placing the math and benchmark orders, but because we are a team and we work together, we get the work done. So teachers and students are ready to start the school year. This is the hard work we do that you don't get to see. But yet my job depends on your decision today. Just because the group got together and brought up this idea and decided one school does not need a library due to space or budget cuts or lack of work. Get to know your staff and the work we do before you get to decide which job is not important. You might decide one school does not need a library, but what you don't realize is that this change will affect everyone, not the school you're deciding to leave without one. What kind of message are we giving the students? Shouldn't all students have equal access to library books and know they have that option? Before you vote, keep in mind that this will not only affect all school sites and students, it will also affect the employee and the whole family. I'm here now trying to keep my job and letting you know how hard I work. Does that even matter? Maybe not, but if you are in this room and you are an employee of this district, well, this is the situation you might be in next year. Stop eliminating jobs. It affects people more than you think. We all work hard. Thank you.
Hi, Eric.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent Turkey, President Ruiz. This time last year and the year before that and the year before that, I stood at this podium saying the same things. First and foremost, anytime we have to cut jobs, it's going to come down to CSEA feels it the hardest. And every year I remind you all that school districts don't run without classified. You can have all the administrators, you can have all the teachers you want, but without classified, districts do not operate. Beyond that, hearing tonight with all of these people who are frankly begging to keep their jobs. I understand this is a preliminary, which means that yes, it's subject to change as always. But the reality is that this affects students in such massive ways. I mean, looking at all these library books, my son has read probably a good 10% of what's in this library because the librarian here keeps encouraging him to read another book. Without that librarian, my son probably would not be reading as much as he is because he's grown, frankly, bored of what I can provide him. So while this is a necessary thing, this goes back to our communities where it doesn't just hit your staff members. It hits the kids. It hits the members of our community that rely on these people and these services to help their children grow. And we saw tonight in the lovely middle school report that our reading levels are coming up. How many of those kids are being pushed to read a different book? My daughter sure is. I mean, her reading level is high, but she's being pushed. Hey, check out another book. Hey, return that one. All right, here's another one. Go for it. So if we want our scores to go up, we have to foster kids' interest in learning. Sure, we can have exciting, programs. We can have field trips. We don't really have those anymore, but we can have all these things. But if the kids aren't excited to have their butts in the seats, they're not going to learn. So sports, reading, having great activities, inclusive activities are so important. So if we can, let's see if we can find other ways to save money in that budget other than hitting CSEA again. Thank you.
Please.
Hello again. I just want to make one final piece. I know I had a script, but I wanted to really speak from the heart. So I'm a longstanding employee for the district of 10 years. I'm a community member. I live in Cashville, just a minute walk from the middle school. I fell in love with the community. Before this role, I was the NEST coordinator, and I focused more on the program and providing those opportunities and activities for the students in the after school program. And so when I heard the position, the community schools coordinator position, I wanted to reach more students rather than just the after school program. And so I thought it was a great opportunity to jump in, knowing that it was a 5-year grant and I was risking getting cut, but I'm here for the students. Just again, seeing the faces and the reaction of the students who enjoyed all those trips. We went to a few of the colleges. We went to UC Santa Cruz, and one of the students came to me and said, hey, you know what? I didn't know what college I want to go to, but now I do. And so she now wants to focus on a college. And, again, just hearing how students are learning through the DC trip, students are doing those projects. We have the projects displayed right now in the public library. And I actually learned from the students, from their research. So the students are engaged, the students are learning because, again, they're having this opportunity to learn in a different way from just the classroom. So again, I'm just here for the kids. I'm just trying to find ways to collaborate with the schools to see how we can improve our students, how to make learning fun and engaging and quality. And so, again, I'm just here to support the staff. But yeah, so again, I would be disappointing if this role goes away. But like I said, the work will still remain. It's just going to put a lot of workload now onto other staff. Sully does a great job with elementary, and I have a heart for the secondary level, trying to incorporate career and college readiness for our students. So Yeah, so again, I'm here for the students. I would not love, I do not want to go to another school district. Again, I fell in love with this community. I want to stay in this district. And I want to provide my resources and support for the students in our community. Thank you.
I don't see any more public comment. Do we have any public comment on Zoom? Okay.
Yes, good evening, members of the board and superintendent. My name is Sandra Ortiz. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Please proceed.
Okay. My name is Sandra Ortiz, and I have proudly served as the attendance clerk at Prunedale School for 25 years. I recently learned that the office school clerk position is being considered for elimination, and I would like to share my concerns. Prunedale School currently has the highest elementary enrollment in the district, with 649 students. Our front office manages a very high volume of daily activity, including attendance, parent communication, student check-ins and checkouts, health concerns, safety procedures, and overall campus support. The workload is continuous and fast-paced. I respectfully invite you to visit our campus and observe firsthand the daily flow and demands of a busy elementary school front office. While we always do our best to prioritize our responsibilities and support our students and families, we can only accomplish what time and staffing allow. Reducing office staff at a school of our size will impact efficiency, response times, and service to our community. Thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration.
Thank you. Thank you for your public comment.
Good evening, members of the board and superintendent. My name is Jose Gonzalez, and I have served as an administrative assistant at Prunedale School for 26 years. I also have learned about the school office clerk position that is considered for elimination. I want to express my deep concern about the impact this cut will have on our school site. The school office clerk position has significantly improved the efficiency of our front office operations, particularly with the implementation of the new online registration OLR system and the ongoing processing of student transfers. This role has become essential to maintaining smooth daily operations and providing timely support to student families and staff. It took years of advocacy to secure additional support for our office. Nearly 15 years ago, we recognized the need for extra assistance, and when the position was finally established about 8 years ago, it made a meaningful difference in our ability to serve our school community effectively. Eliminating this role now will substantially increase our workload, and it will impact the level of service we are able to provide. Once again, classified staff are being reduced while administrative positions remain unaffected. I respectfully ask the board to carefully consider the operational and service-related consequences of removing this position before making a final decision. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for your public comment. No further public comments on Zoom? Okay. Seeing none, we are going to close public comment. Again, this is a discussion action item. So at this point, I will invite a motion. Is there a motion to approve? Is there a motion to amend?
Motion to amend?
You motion to amend? You need to state your amendment, right?
No, sorry, this
Nope.
isn't the one I'm.
Okay. Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I move to not approve the current proposed list.
Not to approve the current list.
My motion to not approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, so that's the motion on the floor. We're now going to open it up for discussion. Okay, who wants to start discussion? Would you like to start?
So I prepared a statement.
Okay.
So to those hopefully online that are seeing this and others, Trustee Angela DeMarco, Trustee Area 3, I am deeply concerned about eliminating the child welfare, homeless, and foster youth coordinator in our district that serves, based on the California School Board, approximately 4,290 students, of whom roughly 1,000 are identified as homeless, nearly 1 in 4 students. Additionally, 86% of our students are socioeconomically disadvantaged, and nearly half are English learners, and over 600 receive special education services. These demographics represent a very high-intensity service environment. Eliminating the one dedicated coordinator responsible for the McKinney-Vento compliance and homeless student stability raises serious concerns about service continuity, compliance risk, and student outcomes. Before I can even support this reduction, I need to see a clear, detailed plan for who will absorb these responsibilities and how we will ensure that there's no degradation in services for these students. Additionally, I'm also very concerned about eliminating a journey mechanic. Well, which I looked at, we are responsible for approximately 79 district vehicles and pieces of equipment, including 33 school buses, 6 which are electric. Reducing our mechanic staff from 2 to 1 place, it places full maintenance responsibility on a single individual for the entire fleet. I need to see a detailed operational plan showing how we will maintain preventative maintenance schedules, manage emergency repairs, and avoid increased outsourcing costs or vehicle downtime. Transportation safety and reliability are core district obligations, and I am not yet convinced this reduction will not create a greater risk or long-term cost. I would like the district to take a step back for a moment. When reductions involving high-risk student populations or high liability operational areas, I expect a full impact and mitigation analysis, not just a list of positions. That level of analysis helps this board make informed decisions. Until I see something like that, I cannot and will not support the reduction of these forces.
Okay, thank you. Matt, would you like to address the logic behind the 2
This is
positions?
discussion between the point of order, discussion between us 5 orders.
Oh, it's just between us 5? We can't ask?
I think that's
Unless
true.
the trustee asks it.
I don't think that's true. It's for the board and the superintendent, so.
Can I ask you to address your logic behind the positions that you selected? I heard Angela mention too that he has concerns about.
Sure.
Okay, it's true. Can I? Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. I mean, I think that it's important for us to understand the logic.
Absolutely.
So I call a point of order that should have been addressed during the presentation.
So Sandra cannot ask a question, yeah?
She can ask it, but that information should have been brought in presentation.
Okay, well, I'd like it addressed now, please. Thank you.
That's just for I wanted it on the record.
Okay, great.
Okay. So, I mean, first of all, I'm just going to say that curtain positions is never, ever easy. It's never easy. Okay. Nobody's saying, hey, this is good. This is great. Let's have people lose their jobs, right? I just want to be really clear about that. Okay. Nobody relishes this kind of thing. Nobody likes this kind of thing. In terms of the folks who are on any list, I know that that's very, very hard. I know that it hits and I know that it hurts. So please don't think that this has been done without any consideration. In terms of the 2 positions which you're asking about the child welfare, homeless and foster youth coordinator position. So that position is currently a coordinator position. However, there's no actual coordination which happens. There's direct supports to students. Direct supports to students doesn't need to be a coordinator position. A coordinator position is a management position. This person would then essentially bump into a community liaison position, do the exact same work as a CSEA person, not as a management person. So in terms of the services going away, they wouldn't go away. They're currently being done by a manager who doesn't manage anything. So, and to the comment where this isn't impacting management, there's 4 management people on here. So I just want to say, actually, on a percentage wise, it hits management way harder than any other area. The journey mechanic one, it's an interesting question, that one. Okay. So we did go visit, and the folks work hard, right? They do. There has been a reduction in the amount of work there. Okay. And there is an issue there with absenteeism as well, right? And so you have 3 people there, some folks who are absent often, right? And, you know, is there enough work for those folks? When we spoke to the people in transportation, they thought not, right? So I'm speaking very frankly. So that's those 2 positions. If you want information on other positions, we can talk about that too.
Thank you, Matt. Is there any other discussion?
Yes.
No? Yes? Okay, go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked that this be brought super early, you know, so we have enough time as colleagues to discuss, just in case we, you know, had the opportunity to. And eliminating these positions weakens our students' ability to learn, to read, to get guidance, to get to school, for people and students with extreme needs, not to get services like clothing, shelter, food, camaraderie, engagement. Let that sink in. How would management administration like if we voted to cut 10% of their salaries immediately? You all know I wouldn't mind that. God forbid it, that we did that. School office clerk, they need to be there for roundups, for enrollment in the summer. And my colleague touched on a couple of them also, spot on. And yeah, I can't support this either.
Okay. So, Martha, do you have any comments?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I mean, it's very, I mean, unfortunately, I've gone through this so many times. Every year we're facing this. This is probably the hardest time of the year as a board member that we do not look forward to. But then and sitting in this board, learning both sides of how to run a district, how to work to make sure that we're servicing our kids, you have to have a balanced budget, right? And it's all over the news, guys. You guys seen it in other districts. Pajaro Valley, 142 positions. Monterey Peninsula Unified, just 42 positions. Every district is facing this, which is unfortunate, right? And what is the result of it? It's not a secret. Declining enrollment. How do we get our money? We get our money through ADA. And I think where now we were getting $4,000 per student. We're only getting, and I think you can clarify that. Is it 3,000? Like,
in terms of ADA, I don't have the exact figures.
4,000, and do you have those numbers? Because it's important to look at the whole big picture here of what we're facing. Because at the end of the day, we do know every single position is important. If anything, I wish we could add more positions because this is the hardest part. But then our job as board members is to make sure that we have a balanced budget so then the state doesn't come and take it over. And we all had the opportunity to meet with you and understand the logic behind each one of these positions and understand like what was, and I asked you when I met with you, like who was at this table? Like, who was part of the decision to make sure which positions need to be eliminated and what is the plan, right? And you shared the results of the two that were in question, and that's the story you told us. You told me. So you're being consistent there, which is good. You know, because you met with us all individually, and you were letting us know that, because I was very concerned too about the homeless population. That's close to my heart too. But then you let me know that those services are not going away. Correct. Those services are still going to happen. It's the coordination piece that we don't need, because it's the community liaisons, the people that are giving the direct services to those families and all the other parts that you have part of the district is going to continue to support that population. So you did, I want to publicly say that, you said that is not going away. Those services are not going to be diminished. And so that was important to understand that. And then I didn't get into details about all these other ones, because I understood that some of this stuff was going to be consolidated. Some of these roles were going to be consolidated. Some of the positions weren't needed anymore. I'm not going to go into all detail. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm just sharing that where and what is it? Those that have been coming to board meetings, those that look at our budget, we're in what, $9 million deficit, or is it $7? $7 million deficit spending. So yes, you know, I'm hoping that you guys are doing. And then we're also, let's face it, we're also in a time where we have to give, you know, raises, and we have to be able to sustain that. And there's, you know, insurance, all that has gone up. So we have to look at that everything. And it's hard. It's hard because at the end of the day, we don't want to be here. We do not want to be here. But at the end of the day, I don't want us to have the state come in and take over either. We have to have a balanced budget. So I am torn. Right now. And so can you confirm or reaffirm or let us know when these positions were discussed and all the people that were at the table to confirm that there's plans in place? And when you say everyone, not just your cabinet, site leaders that oversee these roles were part of this decision.
That is correct.
So it wasn't just you and the district. It was a site leader saying, all right, this is what we have to cut back. Help us meet this goal.
These are in departments mostly, but yes.
And then union representatives were aware of this too.
You told union representatives, yes.
They were aware of this too.
Yes.
During your negotiations and everything, right?
So this isn't negotiated with union partners. Instead, union partners are made aware of it. It's not negotiated.
Right. Then the next step after they're made aware is we bargain the impacts and effects of that, of the decision the board makes with the resolution. Then we need to bargain the effects and impacts of the decisions of these positions going away.
Then you have to go back and you have to
Correct.
Okay.
And, you know,
it's good to have everybody understand the process, because it's so detailed and it's so important to make sure we're following all those guidelines, you know.
And my ask of the board is, if this is not acceptable to a majority of the board, okay, what would be?
What would that mean? You tell us.
Well, would there be an amendment? What would be acceptable to a majority of the board? What you're seeing is staff recommendations, right? If that's not, well, the will of the board is okay. That's understandable. Okay. What would an amendment look like?
Like I said, point of order, like I said, we have time to meet up together and discuss as a board. He wanted us one-on-one, which, you know, I guess, I don't know. I forgot the reason. I'm not asking for it either. But we could come together and discuss this together. If it has to be an open session, it could be an open session. And that's it.
So what you're asking is clarification, a deeper dive.
Yeah.
And a deeper dive among all of us to see what exactly we can do.
Exactly.
And
So it would be my point of order. The motion was to vote this, to not vote in favor of this.
We're still in discussion though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we voting to amend, or are we continuing to discuss?
Well, the motion on the floor is to not approve. That's the motion.
That's the motion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We don't have to amend to discuss it later at a later time. We could just
this could still be discussed later if this motion gets passed to where we disapprove. It's not saying we can't talk about it again later. We're just talking, the motion is not approve resolution number 2025-2621.
So, okay.
So what we're
Is
saying,
discussion concluded and we're ready to vote on the live motion?
Yes.
and then that's when you can add your, can I get clarification?
Sure.
Point of order. When we go for the vote, at that point, can we make an amendment for a vote?
You can make an amendment now if you want, and then the amendment would then be discussed, and then the amendment is voted on, and if not, that fails, then it comes back to the original motion, which is not to approve.
So I would like that recommendation of an amendment that Rick just suggested for us to have a discussion before bringing this back to the board for a vote. Does that make sense?
The discussion you could have now, if it's an amendment, you'd have to say what the amendment is. So, for example, you could say, I would like to amend this motion to not include positions X, Y, and Z, or whatever you would want.
I have a question. Does this impact our timeline at all with letting people know? Do we have enough additional time so people have?
We can bring this back to another board meeting, but the question would be what to bring back.
Okay.
Yeah. So perhaps we're going to have to schedule a special board meeting or something specific.
Well, it could be. I mean, we could. It's obviously up to the board. But again, this is the recommendation of staff. So if not this, then what?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're going to have to better that out, unless you guys want to better it out right now. No? Okay.
Not at 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the motion before us is to vote no, not approve. Resolution number 2025-2621, preliminary classified layoff. So if you're disapproving, if you vote aye, you're agreeing with the disapproval. If you vote no, you're disagreeing with the disapproval. Okay? So I'm going to do roll call.
Smart.
Okay. Go ahead, Angelo. How do you vote?
Aye.
Okay. Rick?
I vote aye to disapprove.
Okay. Martha?
If I vote aye, are we still going to bring it back for a workshop? Because that's what I heard you say.
I think that's agenda setting and it's after,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Okay. How are you voting?
Aye.
Okay. I vote no. And then aye. Aye. Okay. So we have 4 yeses to disapprove and 1 no to disapprove. Motion carries. Okay. And then we will discuss at our next agenda setting whether we have a special meeting or not. Okay, we're going to move on to the next item, which is adopt resolution number 2025-2622, preliminary certificated layoff. Please, Curtis.
All right. Before you tonight, you have resolution number 2025-2622, preliminary certificated layoff.